comes rum coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over, over there, over there, over there. Send the word over.
Hey everybody, this is Joshua Littrell. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today. Oh my gosh, is today going to be fun because I'm coming to you with some really, really amazing news. A lot of great things have been happening here for Veterans for Cannabis and our entire organization. And really you all, as the listeners, as the patients, as the customers, as the consumers, as the farmers, Today, we don't have a guest. I'll be your esteemed guest today, but it's really going to be about Veterans for Cannabis. What is Veterans for Cannabis? What do we have going on right now? And what is this wonderful, wonderful news I'm about to share? Well, I think we'll just, for lack of better words, let's just jump right into it, right? Today's exciting because I'm going to talk to you all about the Veterans for Cannabis actual hemp grow operation. And yes, you all know that we've got our own farm. It's in Wisconsin. We've had it for a couple years now, but we're finally going to start a second farm and potentially a third and fourth, and who knows after that as well. And why I say that is because you, as the listener, if you're interested in growing industrial hemp for the Veterans for Cannabis program, or if you just want to get into the hemp industry as well, please let us know. You guys can always reach out to me. I'm easy to reach, Joshua at vfcannabis.org. JOSHUA at vfcannabis.org, or you can check out our website at vfcusa.com and, really get in excited and interested in a brand new burgeoning industry that's come around that we've fought like hell for, tooth and nail, scratched and clawed to try to get industrial hemp done. I think you all know I've shared with it before that I was up in D.C. back in 2018, and I was in D.C. when we got the industrial hemp bill passed, the 18 Farm Bill. That was so exciting. And I'll tell you all right now, full disclosure, I wasn't the reason it got done. Granted, we were a part of that, but our entire hemp industry was so influential in getting that 2018 Farm Bill done. That took so many different parties to get that done. And yes, Veterans of Cannabis had a pretty good hand in it, but we weren't the only ones. We couldn't have done that alone because, one, we don't have the funding, and two, we just don't have the bandwidth to go meet with every single representative and every single senator in Congress. So we relied on our hemp industry, and we really banded together, got that done way back in 2018. And then we, as Veterans for Cannabis, set out to teach you all, the advocates, the listeners, the industry insiders, how to advocate and get laws changed at your state level. Because what we ran into was, here we saw a great new 2018 Farm Bill that got industrial hemp legalized around the country. Industrial hemp became, rather than a research crop, a fully compliant commodity crop back in 2018, where it's treated just like corn or cotton. And I say that to say that, yes, they say it's treated like corn or cotton, but we know it's damn sure not treated like corn or cotton. Doesn't matter. We got it legalized, and industrial hemp is now a product. It's a commodity, and it's legal at the federal level. What was not legal in most states is industrial hemp. It had still been outlawed. So in 2018, in December, when we got that bill done, we got it signed into law by President Trump, we had to go back to the drawing board and start at the state level then to say, hey, guys, in case you didn't know, the federal government actually updated laws before you all did, and y'all could have done this since 2014, worked on your own hemp bill, but you didn't. That's okay. What we're here to do is to help you all now write the legislation and get it done here in 2019 and 20. So we worked really hard in Florida, Georgia. Tennessee had a really robust industrial hemp program from their pilot program. North Carolina, South Carolina, all across the Southeast. And, Kentucky was really kicking the world's butt in industrial hemp. And now you've got some phenomenal states coming on, like Montana, Wyoming. When you look at the Kansas production, Colorado obviously is growing thousands of acres of hemp. And hemp is a really, really great industry to get into. But I'm so excited today because we're finally going to have our own Georgia grow operation, which I think you all may know that I've grown cannabis in the past, medical cannabis, and I'm really excited about having our own industrial hemp farm as well. And that does a couple of different things. We've had our VFC farm in Wisconsin, but it's way geographically located away from Georgia, so it's hard to get up there and be over the top of it all the time and every day. I'm really excited personally about having our VFC farm here in Georgia because there's something that we're not talking about, which is that agrotherapy. Agrotherapy is a great, great opportunity for people in general. It doesn't matter, veteran or civilian. You as a listener is a great opportunity for you to help get better and get well. Well, what in the hell is agrotherapy? I've never heard of agrotherapy, right? Agrotherapy is really just the act and art of growing something, watching it come to life, taking care of that new life form, and seeing it through its life cycle. It is so therapeutic. I think I've shared before that I had a young lady, a veteran, that she had gotten all the pharmaceuticals from the VA, was just basically in a zombie state, had lost custody of her children and just didn't care about life anymore. She got out into an industrial hemp farm in Colorado back in 2016, worked out there for a full season, and this young lady just blossomed like a flower. It was so beautiful to see that this mother who didn't care if her child got off the bus in the afternoons because she wasn't really there. She was physically there, but mentally she wasn't there because all the pharmaceuticals just made her a zombie. Got her life back. She got to find that new fire and that love in her life by growing industrial hemp and being a part of this plant because of the therapeutic benefit of growing that plant. So that agrotherapy is a huge part of it. And I think many of you all struggle like we all have, especially over the last few months, with everything that's going on with the pandemic and COVID. It's been a struggle for a lot of us. So we need something to help us manage that and to move forward through that. And I think agrotherapy is a great answer for a lot of us. So I'm most excited about having those plants right there every single day, being able to take care of them, baby them, grow them, and then see those plants become and I'm doing my air quotes now, medicine that you all get to buy online at vfcusa.com. And, I think I've mentioned before, but we take the majority of our profits and put it right back into the veteran community. Last year, we donated a little over $50,000 worth of product out. And this year, we haven't quite donated as much because we've not had the sales, quite honestly and frankly, that we've had in the past, because I think everybody's been just a little scared of what's going on in the pandemic right now. But hey, everything's going to get better. It always does, right? There's no matter what happens, it always gets better. And I tell people that just stay the course, stay focused, keep pressing forward, trudge on. And as we talk about in our veteran community, talk to people. If you've got nobody to talk to, call me. Hell, I'll listen, or call a friend, call somebody. There's a lot of the VA crisis line is phenomenal for the veterans that are listening in our audience. There's so many different advocates and people to reach out to if you are struggling. But a great part of that is to help you manage that, to grow industrial hemp. So if you're interested, please reach out to us. Let us know. We've got thousands of seeds. We're helping people get started. We help them. We do some consultant work with them, tell them how to set their farms up, how to grow the crops, and do all the manicuring that needs to be done, how to sex them, how to propagate everything. It's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to get into the hemp industry. But we're really, really excited that Georgia, we finally got it done. Although yesterday, I will tell you all, we'll have an update webinar. We'll have an update podcast on this pretty soon. Georgia had their new industrial hemp law, the 2020 law. They basically went over that yesterday in committee, and they've got some asinine, outlandish prices in there to become a processor in the hemp industry and do all this stuff. It's pretty ridiculous, and they actually just talked about that yesterday because Georgia's General Assembly, the Congress for the state of Georgia, basically had to go on break because of COVID. So they suspended the session 29 days into it, and now they're finishing the session. So yesterday they had a committee meeting on the industrial hemp bill that they're trying to get out this year to update the laws, and it's pretty ridiculous. although to become a farmer here in the state of Georgia, you only have to pay $50 per acre. That's actually not bad. But their application fee to become a processor is $50,000. That is so crazy. They, instead of having, 100 processors with a $5,000 fee or $10,000 fee, they're going to have 40 processors at a $50,000 fee. And it just don't encourage entrepreneurship or small business ownership or competition in the industry. It's really frustrating when we sit back and we worked hard on that piece of legislation too. We've had a number of different veterans that have gone up there to the Capitol, met with their senators and representatives. We've passed out information, left handouts saying, hey, we're against this, we're for this. Here's the language we would like to see in the bill. And that's how we get things done. But look, I'll be the first one to tell you, we're not cutting checks to these senators and representatives. And there was a senator yesterday on the committee, John Wilkinson. I'll call him out. I'm not scared of it. He's actually my senator from my district. So he had another senator on this committee that they asked for a roll call vote. The senator voted no against the bill because we didn't want him to. He changed his vote from before the meeting. And the way this whole politics things work, so you guys, let me back up a little so you guys can understand this. They go into this committee meeting. The chairman of that committee, Senator Wilkinson, already knows how everybody's going to vote. So even though they say it's open to testimony and you can come in and help sway them and guide them in how they're going to vote, very seldomly do they ever change that vote. Yesterday was one of those days, a phenomenal day, where we actually had a senator that decided, based on the testimony that was put forth yesterday, which was really good testimony, and really helped them understand why a $50,000 processor fee was ridiculous. No other state in our 50 states, no other state has that kind of asinine fee to apply for a hemp processor license. It's ridiculous. We're the only one. Georgia's outlandish in its requirements, and it's very clear. So the speakers yesterday made that very abundantly clear, and one of the senators changed his vote. He was originally a yes for the vote as is. They didn't want an amendment to change the fee from $50,000 to $10,000 or $5,000. He just wanted to go as is. Well, Senator Wilkinson heard this senator say no, and he said, let me just be clear. Do you know what you're doing? And he said, yeah. He said, I'm changing my vote. And he even told him before that, he said, I've been moved by the people who spoke in front of us today. That's why we do this. That's why we get out there. We do the advocacy work. That's why we get out in front of the senators and representatives and tell them who we are and how we feel so we can help sway them. And we saw it come to fruition yesterday. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment. I was so happy to see it. Although the bill went ahead and passed, they went from originally it was probably 8-2 before they walked in, heard the testimonies. Then the two people changed their votes in there, so it was 6-4 was the final vote, I believe. 6-4 pushing forward $50,000 application fee, 4 against, and 2 changed their mind while they were in there hearing the testimony. That's why we do what we do. Look, we didn't get what we needed to yesterday because ultimately, Veterans for Cannabis, what our whole entire objective and goal is to become a processor for the farmers that are growing for the VFC program. So if you are a listener and you want to grow for Veterans for Cannabis and you want to help provide product, you want to do revenue share, profit share, you want somebody to help and guide you in this process, that's what we're here for. And then we want to be the processors for that hemp that you grow. And when we harvest it, we as Veterans for Cannabis want to process that. Well, right now, we're not going to be able to apply for a hemp processor license here in the state of Georgia at $50,000. It's pretty ridiculous. It is what it is. And, neither here nor there, can't say anything, but I was really, really happy to see yesterday 2 senators actually change their minds after testimony in there. And then Senator Wilkinson, trying to be the committee chairperson, put pressure on those 2 people for changing their votes to try to get them to change it back to a yes vote, so it just passed through with no amendments. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't assert your power in that kind of position because these are independent senators who are not at your beck and call. And I wish politics worked that way. And oftentimes we don't talk about politics on this